Ideal professionals video tutorials. Topics to be covered. Topics to be covered. We have default information. Setting up default information for debtors, creditors, and inventory. Creating new account with shortcuts. Creating new set of account with using shortcuts that we don't need to go to maintain to create new account. We also have conversion of $sign to naira sign. This applies to the chart of account, debtors, creditors, and inventory. So let's select Peachtree. There are many ways of setting default information. The first, I'll go to maintain. I'll scroll down to default information and select customer. The first method, I'll say OK. The next thing is to go to the customer on the dashboard. Now select customer. Now come say set up default information. That's the second one. The third, I can come to options. From options, I will scroll down and I will select customer. So it's still giving me the same customer default. So let's select one using customer and sales tax. Set up default information. Because this is a new company, we don't have any customer. We want to make sure that we set some important information. Standard terms, COD, prepayment, due in number of days. Okay, that's okay. Net due in 30 days. Discount 0 days. Discount percentage 0. Credit limit 2,500. This may be too low. We can either increase it, let's say 100,000, depending on the company's policy, or just leave it at 0 and select credit status, no credit limit. So this depends on the company's policy. General ledger links account. Account sales can also be changed in each customer record. So set default account for a new customer. The sales account can also be changed for each customer record. So this default information applies to all the customers. But when there's a new account, we can also set default in individual customer account. But this is the general default that applies to all customers. So you can say general ledger sales account. We select sales income. So anytime making payment, anytime we are selling to customer, it comes to sales income, because this is the general that applies to all the customers. We also have discount for general ledger account. When we sell to customers and we are giving them discount, that is discount allowed. So we are allowing them some particular amount of money. So we need to select an account to track all the discount allowed that we have. So let's select drop down list. So I don't need to go to maintain. This is my chart of account. I don't need to go to maintain to create discount allowed. All I need to do is to select new to create a new account. So I select new. So it will now take me, so this is the shortcut that will take me to maintain of chart of account. All I need to do now is to first identify discount allowed. It can be part of cost of sales and it can also be part of expenses. So if I want to group it under expenses, for instance, I need to select the last expenses. These are my expenses. I will select the last expenses, which is telephone, and I will need to add 10 to the last figure because we are adding 10 10 10 to the sequence. So now say plus 10 will give me 60. Then I'll press enter. I'll now change the name to discount allowed. Now I'll click on save. Then I'll close the account. So it has already selected it for me. So I can click on OK. The same way we created default for customers, you can also do same for vendors. Vendors are called creditors, or you can also call them suppliers. I can come to the vendors and purchases tax and select setup default. I can say cancel. I can also come to maintain, select default information and select vendor. And the last is selecting options, default information and vendor. So credit limit, it is the supplier that determines the credit limit. So I don't need much time with this. General ledger link account, expense account and discount general ledger account. The expense account means my cost of sales account, while discount is the discount received that we receive from our suppliers. So let me select cost of sales. I'll just press 3. That's the code for cost of sales. And I'll now create discount received. So it will be under income, discount received. So I will need to select new to create a new item. Not to maintain of chart of account. I'll now select the last income. The last income is rental services. I'll now increase it by 10. That's making 70. I'll press enter. I'll now call it discount received. And I'll click on save. Then I will close this account. It is selected, and I'll click on OK. Then same way we can also do same for inventory. Inventory, select it, set up inventory default, UPC stroke SKU, allow duplicate in case there's part number, allow duplicate value in part number when the items preferred vendor are the same, multiple packs, enable multiple packs, and buying and selling in different units and measurements. So item class, default class. So you're going to do more of inventory. So we really don't have much to do now because we have no inventory. So I just press OK. The next thing we want to talk about is conversion of naira sign to dollar sign. If we check the list of accounts that we have, we notice that everything is in dollar because by default the system is comes with dollar sign. So I want to convert it to capital letter N, meaning Nigerian naira. So what I need to do is to go to my start menu. From start menu, I will now go to control panel. From the start menu, I'll go to control panel. From control panel, I'll come to clock, language, and region. From clock, language, and region, I'll select region. From region, I'll now United States. Maybe there's Nigeria. Do we have Nigeria there? Nigeria. Nigeria. I don't think Nigeria is there. So I'll come down to additional settings. I'll come to currency. So currency symbol, I'll now change it to capital letter N. I'll now select apply. Then I'll say OK. Then that's all. Coming back to my Peachtree, I'll refresh it. Or sometimes I may need to close it entirely, then reopen it. And I'll now come back to list and select my chart of account. Then you can now see that it's now showing N as that is the symbol for naira, so that is N. So in this tutorial, we covered default information, setting up default information for debtors, creditors, that is vendors, let's call them supplier, and inventory. It said you can start from the customers on dashboard. You can go to maintain. You can also go to options to set default. We talked about creating new account with shortcut. And we talked about conversion of dollar sign or any other sign, maybe pound or the default on the system, to Naira sign, that is N. I hope this has been informative for you, and I want to thank you for viewing.